Imagine waking up every morning knowing that you are, by every conventional metric, a failure. You've been rejected from 30 different jobs. The police force told you that you weren't good enough. KFC, a fast food chain, looked at you and decided they'd rather hire literally anyone else in the city, 23 other people, to be exact, than you. You've been turned down by Harvard 10 times. By the age of 30, you have $0 in the bank, zero credibility, and zero reason to believe that tomorrow will be any different than today. Now fast forward 20 years. That same man is standing on a stage with $39 billion in personal net worth, addressing the world's most powerful CEOs. He's about to tell them that everything they believe about success is wrong. This isn't a rags to riches fairy tale. This is a psychological autopsy of how rejection, when metabolized correctly, becomes the single greatest compounding asset on Earth. Jack Ma didn't succeed despite the failures. He succeeded because of them. The framework he built, a timed, decade-by-decade architecture for wealth creation, directly contradicts every hustle culture, overnight success myth the West has sold you. This is the roadmap. This is Jack Ma's philosophy of strategic patience. Rejection is a compounding asset. Before the age of 30, Jack Ma argues that your choice of company logo on a business card is irrelevant. In fact, optimizing for brand prestige over personal development in this decade is the fastest route to professional mediocrity. This directly contradicts the Western graduate mindset of chasing the FAANG job, the safe harbor of a Google or a Meta. Ma proposes a more vulnerable, high-risk strategy. You must ignore the company and obsess over the boss. Before 30 years old, Ma states, "It's not which company you go to, it's which boss you follow." A good boss teaches you differently. This is the decade of income as education. If you are earning a high salary but not learning how to navigate failure, you are accumulating liability, not asset. Ma speaks from a place of visceral experience. He spent his early years not in a boardroom, but on a bicycle navigating the streets of Hangzhou. He would wake at 5 a.m. to wait outside the Hangzhou Hotel, offering free guided tours to Western tourists just to practice his English. He wasn't earning money. He was earning a worldview. He was absorbing the mental models of people from different economies. In this phase, your only key performance indicator should be mistake velocity. How fast can you make them? And how thoroughly can you metabolize the lesson? Ma emphasizes that in your 20s, any mistake is an income, is a wonderful revenue for you. He knows this because his resume was a graveyard of rejections. He was rejected from dozens of jobs. When KFC opened in Hangzhou, 24 people applied. They hired 23. They rejected Jack Ma. He applied to the police force. They told him he wasn't good enough. For the Tier 1 operator, the psychology here is critical. Detach your ego from your job title and attach it to your skill acquisition rate. If you are in a role where you aren't falling down, you aren't pushing hard enough. You are not here to build a perfect career. You are here to build a defective prototype of a human, so that by the time you hit 30, you know exactly which parts need replacing. A good boss teaches you differently.
Jack Ma.
As you cross the threshold of 30, the rules of engagement shift seismically. The apprenticeship is over. Jack Ma's advice transitions from finding a good boss to finding yourself. Between 30 and 40, you must answer the question, are you working for a paycheck? Or are you working for equity in your own vision? This is the decade where you stop being a student of the game and start becoming an architect. If your 20s were about absorbing the wisdom of others, your 30s are about building the machine that can run without you. Ma's transition here is critical. After graduating and teaching English for a meager $12 a month, he didn't just look for a better corporate job. He started China Pages in 1995, the country's first internet company. It ultimately failed, but Ma wasn't devastated. He viewed it through the lens of his 30s, as a prototype. It wasn't a defeat, it was a beta test. In this decade, you must shift from a knowledge worker to a systems thinker. Jeff Bezos built Amazon's logistics infrastructure in his 30s. Bill Gates, in his 30s, was laser-focused on striking the deal with IBM that would cement Microsoft's operating system dominance. They weren't dabbling, they were building moats. For Ma, the failure of China pages gave him the pattern, recognition to know that the real opportunity wasn't in building websites for others, but in building a platform that connected small businesses to the world. This led directly to the founding of Alibaba in his Hangzhou apartment in 1999 with 17 friends and $60,000. The psychology here demands extreme focus. This is not the decade for diversification. It is the decade for depth. Ma advises clarity. Know whether you're working for yourself or for someone else. If you're working for someone else at 38, you need a very clear reason why, because you are trading the compounding interest of your own idea for the linear salary of someone else's. The risk tolerance required here is immense, but as Ma proved, if you have the architecture of your 20s, the resilience, the mentor-informed mindset, you can handle the rejection of Silicon Valley venture capitalists who, in the early days, laughed at Alibaba's business model. If we fight in the ocean, we lose, but in the river, we win. Natural retention reminder. If you're finding value in this strategic breakdown of wealth psychology, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. These insights are designed to shift your financial timeline. By the time you hit 40, a dangerous psychological trap emerges. The temptation of the new. Jack Ma issues a stark warning for this phase. Focus on what you're already good at. Do not, under any circumstances, try to start something entirely new just for the thrill of it. This advice cuts against the grain of the restless, a billionaire archetype we see in the West, where leaders often pivot industries on a whim. But Ma's philosophy is rooted in the physics of momentum. In your 40s, you have built the machine. Now you must optimize it. Between 40 and 50, Alibaba was not experimenting with random ventures. It was fortifying its ecosystem. It launched Taobao in 2003 to defeat eBay in China. It launched Alipay to solve the trust issue in online transactions. A move that was controversial but strategically essential. This was not novelty for novelty's sake. It was defense and deepening of the core. Elon Musk in his 40s wasn't starting new unrelated companies. He was forcing integration across Tesla and SpaceX, solving the manufacturing hell of the Model 3 and building the Starship. It's a decade of refinement where the goal is to take what you know and make it so deep that no competitor can touch you. Ma's approach here is Confucian in nature. It prioritizes coordination and social harmony within the organization over the disruptive, tech bro mentality of constant creative destruction. For the Tier 1 leader, this requires brutal self-awareness. You must identify your unique competency, the thing that only you and your organization can do at that specific level of excellence, and double down. The 40s are when you stop chasing the shiny object and start building the patent, the culture, and the capital moat that ensures your 20s and 30s of labor were not a sprint but a qualifying lap for the marathon of legacy. Ma's eyes were on people and systems, not on Mars. He focused on building Alipay, a system that bypassed bureaucracy to give credit to the unbanked, a real-world coordination problem, solved by specialization, not distraction. Don't chase the new, deepen the core. If the 20s are about learning, and the 30s and 40s are about building and mastering, then the 50s are about something far more difficult, letting go. Jack Ma's advice for this stage is a masterclass in strategic ego management. He states bluntly, work for the young people because young people can do better than you. So rely on them, invest in them, making sure they're good. This is not a soft, sentimental handover. This is a hard-nosed business decision. If you hold on to the reins past 50, you become the bottleneck. Your experience, which was an asset at 40, can become a liability at 55, blinding you to the new paradigms that only the next generation can see. Ma operationalized this philosophy. He stepped down as CEO of Alibaba in 2013, and as executive chairman in 2019. He didn't cling to power. He transitioned to the role of a global champion for small businesses and education through the Jack Ma Foundation. Contrast this with the Western corporate raider model, where founders often fight to the death for control. Ma's approach is rooted in the understanding that a company's survival depends on its ability to renew itself. By investing in the young leaders within the organization, you ensure that the company's growth curve outlives your personal involvement. This is the ultimate hedge against irrelevance. For the Tier 1 mind, this is the most difficult psychological shift. It requires moving from doer to enabler. Your productivity is no longer measured by your own output, but by the output of those you mentor. You are shifting from compound interest on capital to compound interest on people. Ma, who started as a teacher, returns to his roots. He understands that the most powerful legacy is not a statue in your honor, but a self-sustaining engine of innovation that runs on the energy of people half your age. When you see a young employee succeed, Ma argues, you haven't lost power, you've multiplied it. Invest in people half your age. To understand Jack Ma's success, you have to discard the Western template of the genius founder. He was not a coding prodigy like Bill Gates. He was not an engineer building rockets like Elon Musk. In fact, Ma admits, at first I knew nothing about technology. I knew nothing about management. So how did he build something that rivals Amazon? The answer lies in his inversion of the leadership hierarchy. Ma proposes that the school teacher mindset consistently outperforms the engineer mindset in building lasting organizations. An engineer builds a machine. A teacher builds a movement. An engineer optimizes for efficiency and margins. A teacher optimizes for coordination, empathy, and social harmony. Ma's genius was not in writing code, but in creating the conditions where ordinary people could do extraordinary things. He focused on hiring people smarter than himself and then, crucially, getting those smart people to work together without their egos tearing the place apart. This is the psychology of the multiplier. In the Alibaba story, particularly during the battle with eBay, it wasn't a better algorithm that won. It was a better understanding of the user. eBay's platform was efficient but sterile. Alibaba's Taobao was chaotic, social, and engaging. It fit the psychological needs of the Chinese consumer. Ma trusted his gut and his understanding of people over the rigid data analysis taught in MBA programs. Porter Erisman, an Alibaba VP for 8 years, noted that Ma encouraged action over perfection. Ma famously said, "I won't fault you for making a mistake, but I will fault you for doing nothing." This is a teacher's mentality, creating a safe environment for experimentation. In your own wealth creation journey, the hard skill gets you in the door, but the soft skill, the ability to coordinate, to inspire, to build trust, is what allows you to scale. Ma's story forces us to ask, are we building a machine that requires our constant presence, or an ecosystem that thinks for itself? I don't need to know coding. I need to know people. There is a scene in the documentary, Crocodile in the Yangtze, where Jack Ma, in the early, desperate days of Alibaba, dresses up in ridiculous rock star clothing and performs on stage to rally his troops. To an outsider, it looked crazy, it looked desperate. But Ma understood something that the rational mind misses. In the chaos of a startup, logic alone doesn't inspire loyalty. You have to be willing to look foolish for the mission. This encapsulates the final, most profound layer of Jack Ma's advice. The roadmap, the boss in your 20s, the clarity in your 30s, the focus in your 40s, the mentorship in your 50s is the structure. But the fuel is a specific kind of resilience. It's the resilience to be the only applicant rejected by KFC out of 24. It's the resilience to be told by Harvard Business School 10 times that you aren't good enough. It's the resilience to build China Pages, watch it fail, and then get back up to build Alibaba. Ma's life forces us to redefine our relationship with failure. In the West, we often see failure as a bug in the system. Ma sees it as the system itself. He encourages the young to make enough mistakes. Don't worry, you fall. You stand up. Enjoy the show. This isn't just optimism. It's a statistical understanding of success. He knew that if he maintained a high enough velocity of action, the law of large numbers would eventually tip in his favor. As we look at the global business landscape, the race to Mars, the AI revolution, the reshaping of global trade, Ma's voice offers a counterbalance. He reminds us that technology is just a tool, but human coordination is the goal. His journey from a 12-a-month English teacher to a man with a $39 billion net worth wasn't a straight line. It was a series of loops, falls, and recoveries, and perhaps his most hauntingly honest moment came looked back at the summit and said, "If I have another life, I would never do things like this." This is the ultimate reality check for the aspiring titan. The price of building an empire is often the loss of a private life. The currency of success is time, and it is non-renewable. So as you chart your path through the decades, Ma's advice is not just about how to win. It's about understanding what you are willing to lose. His final act, stepping away from Alibaba to focus on education and philanthropy, is not a retreat. It is the completion of the circle. The teacher who left the classroom to change the world returns to the classroom to ensure the world keeps changing for the better. He proves that true. Leadership isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about building a room that can stay smart long after you've left it. You fall, you stand up, enjoy the show. From a bicycle in Hangzhou to a podium on the world stage, Jack Ma's trajectory is proof that the most critical asset you possess isn't your IQ, your funding, or your family connections. It's your timeline. It's the discipline to seek a mentor when your ego wants a paycheck. It's the courage to build when society wants you to play it safe. And it's the wisdom to pass the torch when the world still wants you to hold on. The psychology of wealth creation is, at its core, a battle against the impatience of the human spirit. Ma teaches us that the money is just the scoreboard. The real game is the development of the self through the decades. As you move through your own career, we want to hear, which decade are you in right now? And what's the biggest lesson you're learning? If this deep dive into the strategy of success resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Join us next time as we decode the mental frameworks of the world's most disruptive leaders. Remember, the shark is powerful in the ocean, but the crocodile rules the river. Find your river.